Howdy there folks, Glenn with the Cactus Atlas, and today I'm going to take you on an adventure in the High Sierra. My video begins early in the morning in the High Sierra. That would be the Sierra Nevada. I'm way up in these mountains, very high elevation, at a national forest campground called Mono Creek. And I spent the night here last night, and I thought I'd kick off our adventure here pre-camp breakdown, and then I'll tell you what we have in store. Driving in here last night, it's paved all the way, but it is a white knuckle and beautiful drive. So I wasn't planning on making a video today. I was planning on just going to film more national forest campgrounds for my Camp View channel, which I will be doing along the way, but I can't squander this opportunity being way up here in the national forest. So we're gonna start here at Mono Creek Campground, gonna proceed to another national forest campground in the Sierra National Forest. This is in the Sierra National Forest. The next one is also called Kelty Meadow. So we got a little bit of driving today, and I haven't driven half of the drive. So we'll see what happens. I have no idea. So here's what we're gonna do, I think. I was about to make coffee here and set up my Starlink so I could actually fully research the plan for today, because I still have yet to do that. And it's not for lack of trying. I do not have time. I'm running so hard. But I'm hesitant to set it up here because of all the tree cover. I do have a patch of sky, kind of new with it. So I think what I'm gonna do is drive around. I think I know a spot that has much more open sky not far from here. So why don't it's in here, it's a Dayuse Area anyway. So why don't we head over there? I'm gonna break down our tent, put away everything. I'm mostly packed up. Tent's really easy to put down, and that sounds horrible, I'm gonna put down my tent. Then we'll pack Slim up, and then I'll drive you. There's a little bit of I wouldn't say off-roading, but there's a rutted road to get down to the Dayuse Area. That's probably worth showing you if you come here anyway. Especially those of you in passenger cars, if you're gonna brave it. I'm gonna take one last look at this beautiful backyard of mine here. It's site 16, but we are all cleaned up, didn't take long at all. And we do have an agenda today, one that I'm about to plan, and I'll show you how I do that. This isn't how I usually work, but if you knew the full story, it's understandable. All right, we gotta make one more pass through the campground now to get to the Dayuse Area. It's a one-way loop. But I'll use this as an opportunity to tell you the story of last night and the discovery of the bad footage. Came here, didn't really make a video yesterday, thank goodness, for the Cactus Atlas, or else I would have filmed it and it would have been a waste. Got to the campsite, started filming this episode the night before, walked around the campground, and then I made dinner, and I bought a bunch of dehydrated meals, and maybe I'll film it over again at the other campground and show you guys what I'm eating. But basically backpacker meals, dehydrated meals, I bought a bunch of those. And Amy's been asking me how do they taste, and I got like some higher rated ones, and they're quite good actually. So I filmed myself making it, and then I was like, I looked on the camera and I was previewing the footage, and there was no sound, and I thought, oh, it's probably just the camera's volume is turned down. So I took the card out, put it in my laptop, and that's where the discovery was made, where every clip is quiet, no sound, and just slow motion. Now when it's not me talking and I'm pointing at waterfalls and things like that, it looks pretty cool, albeit it's not in 4K. But then it's just not usable for our video. So I did back up all that footage, and we'll see if we could do something with it, maybe shorts. But when I discovered that, I had a moment, that is for sure. You know, I wish you could see how hard I work when I'm out here. It's just non-stop, but I really felt great about the two videos. One was driving down into Kings Canyon, down to the bottom through the national forest. So I have a lot of GoPro footage in the truck and drone footage, but it's all the footage on my foot when I'm talking that, on my feet when I'm talking that. So it really crushed me. It crushed me to the point where in my adult life as a guy, my usual reaction when I'm really pushed to my limits, and it's usually something, here's that Dayuse Area road, it's usually something like you associate with men. You know, you're working on a project or something and it doesn't go right and you lose your temper. And a lot of guys, I'll throw myself in that category on my worst moments. You just take whatever you're working on, you just want to just smash it and rage. And every family's got stories of the father or grandfather and the thing that really set them off, and it becomes the family story. And it seems like a commonality between many stories that one time grandpa flipped out. I was there. I was really there. I had that ZV-1 in my hand. I was trying to figure, I didn't even know how it was happening. And I almost just threw it into the woods, full on, said, screw it. I'm done with everything, rage. And I knew I couldn't do that. So I luckily, there was some sense in me at that moment that was just knew that I couldn't do that. And then the strangest thing happened. And I don't know, it's weird to talk about it, but as the first, I cried. I actually cried, but it wasn't a sad cry, I would say. That's the weird part. There was like this empty feeling of sadness that you would associate with crying, but I would call it a rage cry. I've never, ever like been that upset, you know? It just really, I don't know what it was. I'm so passionate about this. So it didn't last long. I kind of just got in the truck, and it was really just, because I wasn't gonna engage the Hulk rage and just start throwing stuff. I think that pause, you have to expend that energy, and it came out in that way. And then I felt awesome afterwards. So, and then the logical thinking starts, and then you realize it sucks so bad, but it's not the end of the world. I have other footage. It was 2 videos total. 2 of my freaking favorite videos, of course. I keep coming back to that. And I really wanted to film it for other people. But hopefully I've discovered all of the little quirks. I just hate discovering them on a trip like this. So I'm going to stop talking about it because now I'm going to start getting mad again. So here I am again at the same place I came to film last night. And now I don't have time in my budget to do that. So here's a good opportunity. Amy, you can use some of my slow motion footage of the lake on the ZV-1. I also use the A6600, but this appears to be a reservoir down here. I'm assuming this is Mono Creek, and there's like a rocky babbling brook up there that spills out in here. So I don't know if there's creek access or whatever. We're gonna start exploring, but that's what that is down there. So I assume that's where Mono Creek gets its name. The real reason I came over here though is because all that blue sky I'm hoping is gonna work well with my Starlink, so I can actually plan my day. Usually on my trips I have you've seen my itineraries, and I got one for this one too, but I was only able to plan half the trip and I ran out of time. I'm not gonna get into all the reasons why. Just know that I busted my butt hard, and Amy will tell you, leading up to this trip, there was not a spare moment. But now, because of that bad mishap yesterday, I didn't do my planning, and it's time to speak to the stars. Elon Musk, connect me. I decided to pull into this site. This is a Dayuse area, and usually Dayuse means no camping, so I don't know what this is all about. There's a firing table and another bear locker in the style of the National Forest Campground, but there's no signposts here, so I don't think you can reserve these. Interesting, if I knew about these, I'd be camping down here, but there are mosquitoes up here in mass, so that's the only thing. I was gonna work outside. The mosquitoes seem to be retreating now that it's getting, there's one right there, now that it's getting a little bit later, but they come find you, trust me. Good view over here of the lake though, the reservoir or creek. And here is your setup. Starlink, you got your receiver, I guess that's the GPS satellite communication, and then you've got a router, so that's how it communicates with your phone, just like your home network would. And then power is important, so I have this Jackery, a brand new Jackery Explorer 1000 power block for these new power needs of mine. Not the most powerful thing you can buy, but way more powerful than what I had. But unfortunately, when I ordered it, the 200 watt solar panels did not ship on time, so I didn't have them for this trip. So I've been using my truck to charge it while I'm driving, which is getting me by, but that was a big buzzkill, to be honest with you. But anyway, here we go. It should be set up, and let me go test out my connectivity. So let's see. Am I connected? Yeah, I'm connected. I think it's just slow and not working great, but it's working. So I got work to do, fellas and ladies, so let me figure out what we're doing and then we can get back to our adventure. All right, I packed up with no success, so I'm gonna walk back what I said. I was premature in saying I had a signal. I had a great signal to my router, basically, but the Starlink was not actually connecting with anything or talking to anything, I don't think. So anyway, what I think I might do now, because it's essential I do figure out a plan, I'm gonna drive out of Mono Creek and start heading down on our journey, and I'm hoping to get views very soon. Looking down the Western Sierra from way up high with no obstructions, I would assume that should work, but we'll do some experiments and figure it out. I don't blame Starlink, I think that's just a known thing. And I've, you know, when I've been camping, I'm in a lot of pine trees and stuff, so need sky for it to work. And I guess more sky than that. So I can tell you, Slim's not looking forward to the drive down the mountain, not because it's hard really, or technically hard. It's not us that we're afraid of, it's other people and the way people drive up here. So it's almost like, well, I'll tell you some stories on the way down. How about that? You guys ready for some excitement? Finally. All right, let's get out of here. And I'm gonna hook up my phone, and that way I can kind of monitor on the vehicle if I have a signal or not. And then now we're just looking for clear sky, like with no trees and views off in the distance. And now comes the fun part. So this road getting up here, just for any of you wanting to come camp up here, pay close attention to this part. I would say don't let this deter any of you. There have been some passenger cars up and around this way. This last push up here, it turns to, you can call it a dirt road, but it looks like it might have been an old paved road that's now half pavement, half dirt, I don't know. It's just got some potholes in it and some pretty big ones. And it's not even, but I don't think it's a clearance issue. But when I was coming up here, I was like, boy, this is, it gets rough at the end. There's also some dispersed camping sites. Like, wait, hold, there's a good pothole I was coming up on. I'm just gonna try to keep my wheels on either side of it, but there are dispersed camping sites coming up through here. I saw several really cool ones. People are probably still there. It's technically Friday, so the weekend, so I'm expecting to see, as the day goes on, people venturing out here. We're back on, believe it or not, we're back on the paved road, and this is pretty much the status for a very long time, maybe an hour's worth of driving. Even though in miles it's short, it's just you need to go slow back here. I was probably taking it too fast yesterday in Slim, because you see the experience I've been gaining on my other drive, so something like this for me is just a little appetizer. Now, as we get more into this too, the other exciting thing is, I guess you can kind of call this there's areas where I would call it like a shelf road type situation with very steep drop-offs and expansive views in some spots. A lot of it's in the woods, but we will come out of the woods and you'll see we'll be in, I don't know if it's a moraine, like where glaciers left large boulders. There's lots of that around here. I imagine it might be. You can see the views are starting to open up, and now you can see why I wanted to come out this ways a little bit for Starlink, because if it doesn't work out here, then maybe it's just the mountains are too tall. I didn't do any studying on that one. So I'm gonna just keep going a little further and look for a more ideal spot. I know there were some Dayuse areas. I think there's something called Mono Hot Springs somewhere around here. Maybe we'll go check it out as part of this episode if I can see the sign for it. I don't have any maps other than the map in my brain of this one road. Kaiser Pass Road, I think is what this is called. See what I mean though? It's absolutely beautiful and unique and not like the usual thing you would do in these settings. Most people come out here and you're going to a national park. But I think some people don't realize some of these national forests are very often national park worthy, in my opinion. I've been having the most fun on this trip in the national forest, to be honest. You know, I made my way up from Kernville area, the Southern Sierra. Now I'm in the High Sierra, and we're gonna keep going north to a certain point, and then I have to head home. Right here would be a fun spot to encounter somebody when you don't have a trail cam. This is why General Motors, you should really consider, if you're a safety conscious company, you should make a trail cam standard on some of these trucks for that very situation right there. Because if there was a tiny little Toyota or something, Slim would have just walked right over it. Probably statistically unlikely. It would have to be some really bad timing, I guess, but I think I may have found our spot for the moment to get views and to Starlink it, hopefully. If it doesn't work here, then I'm in trouble, I guess. We're just gonna go look for a signal or something. Now, the best Starlink locations come with shade, and check that off, because you'd think it is nice and cool. The air is really nice now, probably the upper 60s, lower 70s maybe. A slight coolness in the air, but comfortable enough for a t-shirt and shorts. But you could see this place does get blasted with the sun also, and it gets hot up here. Don't kid yourself. That's the weird thing about these mountains, is you got hot and cold and snow and fire all in one place. And we'll kind of scan this way, and you can see the little pockets of snow if you look carefully up there. I want to be careful. I would almost certainly guess they're not glaciers, but a glacier being a permanent deposit of snow and ice stuck to the side of a mountain. I'm guessing now that July is approaching and then August, you'll not have that here, but there probably are some peaks somewhere that do. Hey Slim, I see some fun time in my future here. I'm gonna grab my fold-out chair, I think. We'll do a Starlink test first to make sure, set it up here, and get the drone. And then just sit here and fly the drone in this national forest from here to get some great shots while surfing the internet, hopefully, is my dream. And here comes like the first car of the day. And you can see, I don't know what that is, it's a Chevy. Is that an Equinox or something? Hey Slim, it's your girlfriend. I'll tell you a quick story. There was a guy yesterday in a small car like that coming towards me right when the road started. So we weren't even way up here, and he was like smack dab in the center of the road. And it was just some middle-aged white guy with a trimmed beard, normal looking dude, you know, kind of sitting there like a deer in the headlights look. And I'm just like, you know, you're gonna have to kind of move over towards the side of the road. You know, I don't know what he was expecting. So it was really weird. But like, if that's you and you're gonna be on this road and freak out, like please, 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 for your sake, as well as the safety of others, maybe keep this one off the agenda. So if I had a job, for example, and I had a Teams meeting or something like that, this actually is more than enough to work. Like it's actually, I've been having a pretty easy time with the downloading. The uploading I haven't played around with yet, but if the tests are accurate, it's probably not, like I'm gonna just wait till I get home to upload on my other network. But anyway, Starlink and my office setup. Starlink and Jackery. Now we just need a chair and a laptop. Not bad for a little office, is it? Alrighty, I packed up the Starlink. My research didn't take long at all. I probably spent about 15 minutes there doing what I needed. So basically I shot Amy an email. I shared the unfortunate news about the 2 videos being whack. So I haven't heard back from her. I could have texted her, but I'm in a hurry. So I just sent a summary via email. I'm alive, here's what I'm doing. And here, this is the moment, Amy. It was sent from here. This is the view. But anyway, I know what I'm doing now, so I just needed Google Maps. I plotted all the campgrounds. There's many on my spreadsheet. The National Forest campgrounds in the Sierra National Forest. Kind of divided them into 2 groups. Those within an hour of Kelty Meadows, where I'm going to be shacking up for, like I said, 3 days. And those that I really, for convenience sake, need to hit on the way down over there. So now that I split those up, I realized I missed one. Past Mono Creek was one more, Vermilion Campground. So we're gonna, since we're up here, and I don't come up here, probably ain't gonna come up here in a long time, we're gonna go do it, and then we'll go back down. Let's get on with our high Sierra adventure, and we're gonna head back the way we came past that. Or you know what I'm gonna do? You know what makes more sense? I'm gonna just kind of push pause on you guys, bloop. And then when I get back to this point, I'm gonna come set up my camera setup like it is now. I'm gonna set it up for the campground drive through. We don't need to film what you've already seen. And we'll pick up from this precise location or approximate location. Sound good? See you in a little bit. Well, we went up to Vermilion Campground, National Forest Campground. The last one that I know about up this ways, and I can't see over my hood here. Here's where that trail cam, there's a really steep hill here. We're continuing, and if there's somebody there I couldn't see. We're continuing down this road now. I think I actually overshot where we were hanging out before I went up to find that other campground, but that's okay because I started up like pretty soon after that, so you haven't missed anything. Unless I just made a mistake and I'm not as far as I think I am, and the road up there was pretty interesting, I must say. It gets kind of deteriorated again, but then as you get towards some place called Edison Lake, beautiful lake up there. I'm assuming it's man-made because I saw like a big like earthen dam, like a reservoir. Just seeing it from up above, it's like this pure blue, dark blue color. There we go. You see me doing it, I'm just trying to see over my hood on some of those really steep hills. Because we will encounter people, I promise you. You'll see, you'll see. You'll get a taste of it. Actually, here's my spot from earlier, isn't it? I think I was, I just underestimated, I guess. I didn't want to miss anything, so I said, okay. But here's where I parked earlier. This was my little seat. I was trying to judge by the background where I was, but anyway, now we should be in uncharted territory. And you'll see the rest of this thrilling drive. Welcome to the High Sierra. My first time officially, as far as I know. Alright, so Mono Hot Springs straight ahead, which is the direction we want to go anyway. We're not going to Bear Creek Trailhead. That drive up to Vermilion took a little bit longer than Google said it would. driving a sensible speed. I love this terrain up here, just the granite, the gray granite rock, and the pine trees. It's a nice combination. The view's coming down. It's a much different experience coming down, so I chose wisely filming the downhill slope. Wasn't even thinking about filming yesterday though, which is the thing coming up. I was just trying to get to the campground, and then I was like, man, seems like a missed opportunity, and I'm hoping coming down will be more, you'll get the sense of the steepness, and you do. You absolutely do. Another camper over there, off screen from you guys. And see those steep drop-offs right there? Here's where you don't want to run into somebody coming the other way. It's on those steep drop-offs, although you do have these plenty of little pullouts. So now that I'm seeing it for a second time, there are lots of opportunities to pull over on this road. So should you have to back it up, you probably won't have to go far. And once we get to 168, like the road up to Mono Campground and the hot springs, which we're gonna go swing around. I'm gonna go see what this is all about. Look at that little camping spot right there. They have a general store there. Oh my gosh, there's actually civilization 1/4 of a mile this way. Oh my God. Although there's some civilization up by Edison Lake also, like a little resort. How beautiful is this area? Well, here we are at this area called Mono Hot Springs. It seems more like a wellness kind of resort, a relaxation kind of place, which this is a fine place to do that. And there's a campground across the way also. So unless I missed the National Park campground, like that there was one here and I overlooked it or something, I'm guessing it's like part of the resort. I just thought it was gonna be like a scenic area with some hot springs or something, not really a developed area. So what do you know, it is a national forest campground. I must have somehow missed that or something, so I guess I've got another video to make here while we're here. But I guess that's kind of coincidental. Maybe I confused Mono Creek and Mono Hot Springs somehow. Or is it I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm catching a whiff of like, must be like burgers or something. They're grilling in there. Buffalo burger. I'm salivating. I don't have time though for this. This is where you get sad from eating dehydrated foods. There's a hot spring bathhouse. So I bet you the hot spring that it got its name after is over there somewhere. So they built something over it. So I guess I'm just gonna do a quick survey. You can see there's cabins for rent. They have a store and all these really cool cabins built of stone, and then there's other kinds too. Oh, this is cool and all, but not what I was seeking out. But I guess kind of neat for you to get a little bit of I guess intel. Might be something to do later in my time when I have more time. I've never done a hot spring before. But I guess if you were here and you were relying on these folks for food and you got your Little store over there. There's a US Post Office. I mean, you got a little community over here. Got a hot tub over there, the hot spring bathhouse, massages, and beautiful mountain views and mountain flowers. Mono Hot Springs. Not what I thought it was, but it looks pretty down there. Not sure about that campground. I was very confused. I drove in there, and the first National Forest campground that I've come across where somebody was smoking something when they numbered that place. There was a one-way loop, and the numbers were like going backwards, then they were going forwards. I don't know. So I don't know if that's going to be useful or not. I'll have to check that out later. But the South Fork of the San Joaquin River at elevation 6,560 feet. And looking down at that river, it's just crystal clear and beautiful. I guess that's the river that runs right behind that campground back there.
There's 2 stock trailers behind me, so if you want to park it,
okay,
they're coming up. Thank you.
Yep. He's got a really big trailer. I guess livestock trailer is what they meant. Let me try to get off the road a little bit more. Maybe horses or something. Okay. We'll wait for these people to go by. I think there's 2 of them. One more? Yeah. Man, so you can see they're getting those things through here, no problem. I think there's horses in there, mules. All right, that should be all of them. But there you go, now you can see the craziness of this road back here. There's a truck coming pretty fast through here. You better slow down. Yeah. One more. All right, here we go. One more. Let's go here. We got that. We got that. I think all the Friday travelers are coming in now. So I'm the rarity heading back this way. Okay. All right, so now we're continuing our way around. Eventually this one lane stuff, like I said, will end. A lot of our journey will be cruising at 55 miles an hour, probably down some pretty roads. But way up here, it's a different story. Still making our way through Kaiser Pass Road here. I don't want one of those people to come around this part. This is one of those sections that I don't like, where it's really steep off the side. If I can get a place to pull over, I will, because the views here, looking back to where we had my little office set up, are beautiful. There's got to be somewhere to pull over. Tell me there is. Somewhere safe. That's not big enough for me. These are little dinky pullouts that are good, I guess, if you have to share the road. But I'm trying to see. I don't want to be an obstruction for people, and I'm going to be sticking out in the road a little bit. How about right over here? That looks like exactly what I was looking for. This is beautiful. Wow. Let's look. It's a beautiful view, but the burnt trees aren't the prettiest things, but they do open up the view for us. We were somewhere out that ways on the other side of that mountain, out of over there, I think. Or maybe it was that. I don't know what we climbed or what we didn't now, but my office was over there somewhere. It's a nice little breeze happening over here too. You can hear it in the trees. It's beautiful pine trees here of California. This looks like this was a pretty small, localized fire. The trees up behind me seem okay. The trees up the road seem okay. It's just right here. So I wonder, they either got it out in time or it just went out on its own. Maybe they don't burn as much here because there's a lot more spacing between things. Is that a fair assessment that wildfires don't burn as good over here because the granite spaces the trees out more? Meaning that it's not that you can't have fire, obviously you can, but they don't spread as much. I don't know if I'm just freestyling here a little bit. So still flying a little blind as to where I'm at and all of that. I lost my Google Map direction thing, which doesn't matter because I burnt the campgrounds in my mind and where I need to go. The bulk of them are going to be, there's a set of them around a lake we're going to be getting close to when we get down here. But for now, I want to get some more looks here of this high elevation Sierra. It's just a unique thing, something new for me. And I'm noticing too, like those peaks back in the distance, those have snow on them. It's just, they're these gigantic peaks. You think you couldn't go any higher, and then you look and you're still looking up at those jagged peaks. Let's continue down Crazy Road. There's a campground up here too, but some of them might be group campgrounds or horse campgrounds, so I don't film every single one technically, but I don't recognize the name of the one on my map on Google Maps. Even though I don't have directions pinned, I have a map loaded so I can kind of see what's coming up. So for us, for time's sake, we're gonna continue going because, you know, I got to get to my next campground and set up camp. So you will have seen me tear down camp and set it up again. What I think I might do is just finish sharing this section of the drive, get to the section where the campgrounds are, and then maybe make some miles towards the next destination, because we're dealing in terms of hours total. One of the big sections though, one of the most time, the part that takes the longest is this section here because of the extreme slow nature of it. You're not really going that many miles, you're just going very slowly, so it takes a long time. But that's okay because it's a beautiful drive. And there's some of those really steep drop-offs here. This is the section that makes me the most nervous. I kind of remember driving up it because of these drop-offs like that. That would be the end of Slim. A couple of those, and very likely the end of me too. The end of the show. That's one thing I can say for sure. This is just like artistry, the way the plants work with these rocks, and it's almost like they were precisely placed like that. Like you're playing a video game, like if you're familiar with Planet Coaster or something like that, and you're placing like props and trees and plants and like decorating the landscape. It's like somebody did it with intent out here. Oh my gosh, and there's views that I hadn't seen coming up and I hadn't seen yet until now, that hopefully will be treated to as we continue. We're continuing. So would you guys like to do this road? So on the way up, I did notice this next stop that I wanted to come see, which is a meadow. A beautiful meadow, which I'm just gonna go to the edge of. I'm not gonna go walk out on it. In fact, there are signs here saying walking out on it is prohibited at this time because there's amphibians breeding and I guess rodent activity and stuff like that, so you could squish things and step on them and kill them. But there's like a rock wall here, maybe that marks the edge of the meadow. But I did come armed with a good tool, and I'm in a national forest, so I have a drone with me. So that's what I wanted to do, is to make sure I got to a clear enough place where I could do this safely and keep an eye on the drone when I have it out there at all times. Isn't this a beautiful alpine meadow? There's such a cold breeze blowing off of this thing. And I chose the word cold on purpose. It's probably about as far as I should go. I can see where I'm stepping currently, but this is a view from heaven. It's getting quite breezy too. I haven't been following the weather reports, but I actually just turned and looked this way though, and I see something like, whoa, what? Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at the wildflowers. Isn't that magic? I am a sucker for a meadow. I don't really see that many of them, so they're kind of new and fresh to me, these alpine meadows. And I'm in love with them. So where I'm camping at Kelty Meadow, my hope, which is probably a vain hope, is that the campground's on a meadow like that or something like that. Not only for good skies for Starlink, hopefully, but for viewing, just relaxing. Has the word meadow in it, so I'm guessing. All right, we're continuing now past the meadow. Still on Kaiser Pass Road. That's what the name is on Google Maps, the thing I'm looking at. So, in fact, now it's about 2 o'clock, and this day has been flying by, and I'm kind of worried now, documenting this ride down Kaiser Pass. This feels like a full feature episode. I don't know where my head was yesterday when I was driving this way, but look at that view. Oh my gosh. I think it just was really what I was saying partially, as I wasn't seeing all of the scenery because it was behind me the whole time. And all I saw was straight ahead of me, which is usually hills with pine trees. So this was the right call, documenting it going downwards by far. I know I said that once already, but I'm worried that if I keep going and I keep driving to Kelty Meadow, I'll never get there, and I'll never get my other work done for Camp View, my drive-throughs that I have to do down here. So what I think I might do is Kaiser Pass Road, I think, is the video. This was a very impromptu thing, as you know, for reasons I already stated. And this is worthy of it. in my mind, totally worthy of it. If you ever wanted to see a journey down up from the High Sierra, Nevada, this is it. Oh my gosh, I'm back on 2 lanes. 2-lane road. What luxury. What absolute luxury this is. I am now just, I can relax a little bit more. Not that I was that wound up, but I think we're getting close to the end of our episode. Sorry to tease, like I said, it's just I'm looking at the clock and I know what I have left to do and I know how much time is left, so it's the smart thing to do, but I'd like to end it somewhere cool, at least like a lake, or Huntington Lake is my idea. And technically it looks like we're still on Kaiser Pass Road anyway, so. Alright, I made it to the bottom of Kaiser Pass. I'm now near Shaver Lake, Huntington Lake, where all the campsites are, and there's this thing called the Eastwood Overlook, and some kind of outage for, I don't know, reservoirs or something, I take it, I don't know. Maybe some hydroelectric thing. There's a shaded overlook though. Ah, this is engineering at its finest. It is hydroelectric power from all of the snowmelts, harvesting the snowmelt from the Sierra. So these waters came from way up high where we just were. How fitting of an end. We took Kaiser Pass Road all the way down and followed the way of water. Folks, there you have it, our epic adventure coming down from the High Sierra, witnessing the power of water. It was awesome. Come back next week for another video. Bye-bye.